All right, thank you for that wonderful introduction. Today, I will discuss what this presentation will cover, some background information, how I prepare to set up local holdings records, and how I organize my data so my time and connection will be quick. I'm also going to demonstrate how to find local holdings records, how to add a new record, how to delete a record, how to edit a record that you already have, and how to derive a record from someone else's record. So that you don't have to create a new one. There will also be a list of resources at the end of this presentation that you can use to kind of help clear up some stuff if I don't make any sense, because I am from Alabama and I have a tendency to ramble. So there's that. All right, the purpose of this presentation is to show how I set up my local holdings records. My way is only one way to do it, and it fits my workflow. This presentation is also meant for anyone who has not set up local holding records or who has not updated them in a while. Okay. There is really no excuse for not setting this up. Okay. All it really takes is getting organized and some time, like we all have time. But the hardest part is just getting all of your info together. Once you have it together and you see how to do it, which I'm going to show you how, I'm going to walk you through. And once you have it together, then you can set this up, okay? It's not hard once you see how to do it and once someone shows you the basics, okay? You can figure it out. And the best thing is too is that the system will tell you when you get something wrong. All right, a little bit of background. There are two terms that you're going to see all the time when you are setting up your local holdings records that I get mixed up all the time. The first term is enumeration, and that's volume, issue, number, parts, sections, etc. And there are 6 different levels deep that you can go with your enumeration. And in all the documentation that I read, the deepest you're going to really go is 3 levels deep for mostly anything. It said that you won't use the 4th, 5th, or the 6th very often. I'll be very surprised if you use it at all. Uh, I only had one magazine that was volume, issue, and then number, and all the ones that I had, and I had about 100, I think, that I went through. So you're not going to go real deep. And when you do use a level 3, which is the middle road, um, level of local holdings records, you only have to use volume, the highest level of enumeration, which is volume, and then the year. So you don't have to go that deep. And chronology is your time, okay? And that would be your year or the season, the month, and the day. And you can either do the years and the months, I'm sorry, and the seasons. They can be either written in natural words like January, February, March, or you can do 2-digit codes for the months and then the seasons. So like January would be 01, February would be 02, but then spring would be 21, summer would be 22, autumn 23, winter 24. So you can use either natural language or you can use the number code. So if you're a 10 key person, by all means go 10 key town. But if you are, rather type all that mess up, go ahead and go to town with that. Okay. So either are fine and you can use either one. So just remember enumeration is volume, issue, number, part, and chronology is your time. So think of year, season, month, and day. All right, your levels of encoding. Um, look at your ruling body for your local holdings records and see if there is a standard that you must follow. Whenever you add your OCLC symbol to any holding, like when you're cataloging and you cataloging, you say, I'm going to add my OCLC symbol to the latest James Patterson book. that automatically is a level 1. Okay. The minimum for local holdings records is a level 2. And that's just going to be the leader, an '07, an '08, and an 852 field. And that's it. That's all you're going to put. Okay. For the state of Georgia, and if you are a gold member, the minimum level that you need to have is a level 3. And that requires a summary statement, your leader, and then a '07, an '08, an 852, an 853, 863 pair. Okay, those are always in pairs. And you're going to use the highest level of enumeration in chronology, which is the volume in years. Okay, so you don't need to know the issues and you don't need to know the months. Okay, so kind of keep that in mind. That makes things a little easier if that is as high or as low as you want to go. Or instead of using the 853, 863 pair, you can use an 866 textual holding summary. And that's a little different to do, and you have to do some linking kind of things, and it gets a little confusing. But it is a kind of a cheat, easy way around, and you don't have to update it as often. And I'll show you that. So that is a thing you can do to make things easier. And it's not really a cheat, but it's just a quicker way. And once it's done, you don't have to worry about it anymore. But for middle of the road, a level 3 is the middle. Okay. For level 4, if you wanted to add the month or a second level of enumeration, like you wanted to add the volume and the issue, that would be a level 4. Okay. And then if you wanted to go even higher, that would be a level 5 with the piece designation. Okay. And you would add the item barcode. Okay. All right. For your punctuation, for your holding statements, and when you use a public note or a text string note, um, you will need to know what all those punctuation statements, all the, I'm sorry, what the holding statements mean. A hyphen in your statement indicates an unbroken range of holdings or a full range of holdings from a specified year or volume to date. Okay. And if you use a comma, that shows a gap or a break in a range of holdings. A semicolon indicates a non-gap break when a numbering change occurs, or it may indicate a new series has begun. You'll use a colon to separate the first and second levels of enumeration, like volume 1, number 1. Okay? You'll use a slash as a connector between notations that form a single entity, like winter, spring, or like some of those January, February issues, or December, January, Christmas issues, or if it's the end of the year and it's 2018, 2019, December issues, something like that. Um, it's a connector between notations that forms a single entity as 2 years that form a single period of coverage or a double volume. And then the last punctuation that you'll be using and will be a question mark, and that shows an unknown quantity in a date, and you use a question mark only as a last digit, and you don't add it to qualify it. Okay, so if you're not sure if it's 1981, you don't put 1981. I don't know. It would be 198 something. Okay, so that's how you would use these punctuation marks in the correct way. All right, so let's get your list together. You can use your catalog if you have already cataloged them to run a report. This is a great thing for a volunteer or a student worker to do, or it's a great time for you to get out from behind your desk and for an hour a day and see what you actually have. Go out on the shelf and go see what you actually have. Go ask your coworkers in the genealogy department, or go ask your coworkers in the law library. You know, what are we actually getting? Go check that last PO in the purchasing department. You know, see what it is that we've renewed. Are you getting any free magazines? Are there any gift subscriptions that you don't know about that you're getting that people are putting on the shelf? Did you renew it? Do you need to renew it? Did you need to keep it? You know, look at these things. Do you need to keep all that? Make notes on your stuff, okay? Keep all that together. Is there anything you need to weed? Because if you're weeding it, don't take the effort to put it in your local holdings records if you're just going to get rid of it next week. Okay, go ahead and get rid of it. If you're getting rid of it, do it. Um, you know, write down, was it a subscription with a gift? Was it purchased with general funds? Was this a grant? Was this free? Does it just come and you just put it on the shelf? You know, make notes of all these things, okay? Get all this info together, all right? You need your title, you need the ISSN and the OCLC number. Write down your volume and the issue that it is if you want to go that deep in your cataloging of your local holdings records. You'll also need your dates if that's how deep you want to go, if you want to be that specific and have every single issue in there. Unless you just want to have it a general thing and you just say, hey, look, I've got 2019 sitting on the shelf. If we got it, we got it. If we don't, we don't. Um, so it just depends on how specific you want to be. Is how specific you want to have your info. Like I said, if you already have your stuff cataloged, this stuff may already be in there, and all you need to do is just pull a report. All right. Like I said again, are you currently receiving it? How long are you going to keep it? Do you keep it until you get a microfilm? Do you keep it until you get a bound periodical? Do you keep it until you get a digital copy? Are you going to lend it or lend the physical copy, or are you going to at least make a photocopy if you don't send it? Do you shelve it by the title? Do you shelve it by Dewey Decimal, or do you shelve it by Library of Congress? How long do you keep it? Do you keep like the last 12 issues and then you chunk it, or what do you do? So kind of keep all those things in mind, because these are all questions that you're going to have to answer when you go to put in these local holdings records. And then if you don't have this information and you can't find it because it's not like cataloging a book and it's not on the title verso where all this little info is, magazines have a tendency to hide this info and they don't make it easy for you to find. Sometimes you're going to find some of the info on the spine of it. You'll find the volume and the issue and the date. Sometimes you'll find the ISSN, the volume and the issue and the number down at the bottom of the title page. Sometimes you'll find it at the top of the table of contents page. And then sometimes you'll find it on the cover of the magazine somewhere. Sometimes it's usually beside the label where, you know, your mailing label. And then sometimes some of that info is buried way in the back of the nether regions in teeny tiny itty bitty little print where you can never see it and you have to get a magnifying glass. And so that's where young Padawans are very handy to find it with a magnifying glass or better eyes than I have to find that info so that you can find it. So if you can't find it, just don't give up. It is in there somewhere. Just don't stop at the first page. Keep flipping through the whole book, because they do sit there and stick it in weird spots. Don't ask me why. I guess because they have so many pages to print and they just stick stuff where they can find it. Stick an open spot, and so they just put it there. Okay. So don't give up and just keep looking. All right. So once you have all your information gathered, then you need to get it organized. All right. I have a tendency to use spreadsheets for everything. Okay. And I take all of my piles of notes, my scraps of paper, my doodled on POs, and my emails where I've emailed everybody and said, hey, what are you getting? And then I copy all of that info down into one spreadsheet. Now, here at Linear Tech, we purchase all of our magazines. We are not blessed with, grants and endowments for people to give us magazines. So we have to purchase everything. Um, but if we had people who would gift us magazines, then I would set up a separate tab for those that I know that are gifts. I would set up those that I know that the foundation maybe has purchased for us, or those that maybe I have gotten through a grant or are done with special funds, like maybe with Perkins money, if we could ever spend Perkins money on, magazines, right? But anyway, uh, so whatever we've spent those on, maybe you can organize things that way. Or if you're a folder kind of person, a physical folder person, just stick them in different folders. That way you can do all things one way in a certain aspect. Okay. Um, I would also set up maybe tabs later on when I'm ready to delete. I would just take and copy my info from the page that I added and maybe set up a tab, a sheet for deletes and say, okay, when I go and delete things, I need to delete this local holdings record. So this is my delete page. And then that way, when I go in and I can delete, I've got all my deletes right there and I know exactly which ones I need to delete. And there they go. Okay. Um, so just organize your stuff the best way for you to where it makes sense for you for when you go and start entering your data. Okay. All right. So now it is time for the live demonstration. Okay. All right. So let's get logged in to my connection. Okay. All right. All right. First off, I want to show you how to do a command line search. All right, your command line is here, and we're going to do a list of all of our local holdings. You are going to do L4 colon and then your OCLC symbol. All right, so it's lowercase L4 colon your OCLC symbol and search. And this will pull up a list of all my local holdings that I have already gone ahead and set up. And as you can see, right now, I only have 20 set up because I'm lazy and I don't have any local holdings. Okay. So, so what do we do? Well, let's create a new local holding record. So I'm going to pull out my handy dandy spreadsheet that I created. And so let's go back and search. Okay. And then let's pick one and we are going to do let's do an OCLC search. So to do a command line OCLC search, we'll do NO colon and let's look for The Economist because I need to add that one. So let's go 1081684. Okay. All right. And this is for The Economist. It says I have no holdings, and you can see that there's a bunch of folks that have edited this record, but let's just double check to make sure this is the right record. Subscription department, let's look at it. The Economist, it's weekly except for combined issues. It's text. Yep, double check. Yep, this looks like the magazine. Okay. All righty. So let's go here and go Action, and let's create local holdings. Okay. All right, so here in my summary statement, and since this is a weekly magazine, my summary statement, I keep current plus 3 months. So I'm going to type in retains current issue plus 3 months. Okay. All right. And from what we saw earlier, my controlling body is gold. So I want to catalog to the gold level 3. So we are going to have a leader, an 007, an 008, an 852, an 853, an 863 pair, and or I can add an 866 if I wanted to. I don't have to have the 866, but I have to have either the 853, 863 pair, or I have to have the 863 or 866, I'm sorry. I have to have these two or that, or I can have all three. Okay. So we're going to expand the plus, and that expands the field. The record status shows that new. All right. The type of record is a serial. My encoding level is I'm going to go with level 3 because that's the level that I want to go. I'm not adding item info because I am not cataloging that deep. So we're going to hit apply. Okay, then we're going to expand the 007. It is a text, and the material designation, it is a regular print because it's a magazine. So we're going to hit apply. All right, 008. This is where the fun begins. This is where all those little questions that I told you needed to answer, you needed to answer. Receipt or acquisition. All right. We still currently receive this item. Okay. The method of acquisition. Well, here at Linear Tech, we purchase all of our stuff. We don't get gifts, and we don't have a membership, and we don't have other. If we had quit purchasing it and put no longer received, then we would put that we ended the acquisition date on whatever. Our general retention policy, we don't keep things permanently, so we keep them for a limited period. All right, and our specific policy type is we keep the latest 3 months. Okay. The completeness is other because I don't know once I put this in if somebody's going to walk off with an issue in the middle of all these 3 months. Okay. I have no idea. The system automatically reports that there's one copy because I have at least one copy in my holdings. My lending policy, I am not going to lend my physical copy, but I will reproduce it. Okay. I will make a copy of an article for you. And let's apply. Okay. And then we need to put in the location. Now we can go a little deeper on this if we want to, or we can leave it like it is. I am a cataloger. I like to go a little deeper. We are all catalogers. So let's do our shelving scheme. Here at Linear Tech, we shelve things by title. So I'm going to let them know that we shelve our stuff by title. And our sublocation, we're going to add below that, and we are going to do the shelving form of title. So let's make sure we spell The Economist correctly. So we shelve it Economist. Make sure I spelled that right. Yes, I did. And let's apply. Okay. And now we need to do our 853. All right. The compression expand is unknown. The caption elevation is unverified. All right, linking field is 1. these get confusing if you go any deeper. I am not an expert, and I only go one level of linking field. I tried to look up how to go a little deeper, and I could not find anything. So if anyone knows how to explain it, I kind of saw examples and I kind of understood, but I didn't quite get it. So we're just going to leave this like it is with one. Okay. So the first level of enumeration that I know of after looking at everything, because all I need to have to be level 3 for my goal compliancy is the first level of enumeration and my first level of chronology. So for enumeration, we are going to put V for volume, and then I need to get rid of this second level of enumeration. So we're going to click over here on this action field, and we're going to delete that row. And then on this field, the first level of chronology is we are going to put year in parentheses. And again, here we need to get rid of this second level because we're not going to go that deep, and delete. And then the regularity pattern, we can delete that too. And we can hit apply. And then for the 863 field encoding level, we need to change that to holdings level 3. Form of holdings is no information provided. The linking field is 1.1. Again, I don't understand exactly what that means. So just leave that. I know it means something, and I know that if you have more holdings, like if you have more holdings statements that you would do 1.2 or 2.1, and it gets a little confusing, and I didn't quite understand, and I'm sorry. And so if anybody else has questions at the end, I will do more digging to find that out. But seriously, I could not understand it. So if anybody does understand, I would really appreciate if someone could explain it. So anyway, so yeah. So for the first level of enumeration, we're going to put what I have on the shelf, what I actually have in hand. So I had volume 433, and it's open. Okay, so it's going to continue. We need to get rid of the second level of enumeration. So let's delete. And then the first level of chronology is I have 2019, and that one is still continuing. Okay, so it's not finished. We have not gotten done with it. And we are going to delete the second level because we're not putting that in. And we're going to apply. And since we have 853 and 863, I do not need to put in an 866 if I do not want to. And right now, I do not want to. So we are going to delete field. So to make sure we have this all correct, and my statement went away. So let's figure out why that went away. Let's put that back. Retains current, current issue plus 3 months, period. Okay, and let's come over here to edit. Let's validate record. It says record validated. Green means go. We'll come to action, and we're going to add record. It says, are you sure you want to add this record? Do you want to continue? I'm like, yes, I'm sure I want to add this record. And hit OK. And it says record is added. So when I come back up here and I search, and I do L4, and I put in my local code, 7I, And then you will see that the Economist is now added and I have my local holdings. See? Easy peasy. All right. Now then, let's delete a record. So let's go back and let's look at American Salon. American Salon is out of print and it has been out of print for a couple of years. And we have not gotten an issue of it since 2017. All right. So let's delete it. It is not sitting on my shelf anymore. I know it's gone. Let's get rid of it. So you find your record. You click on Local Holdings. You come up here to the Action menu and you click Delete Local Holdings. And it says, you're about to delete this record from the database. Do you want to continue? And you say, okay. And then in big red letters, it says, this was your last local holding. Are you sure you want to remove it? And you say, yes. And then it says green is go. Holdings are deleted. And so when I do a search and I come up, American Salon is no longer listed here. Okay. All right, so let's look at one that I know is a level 2, Consumer Reports, but I want to update it to a level 3. So let's look at my local holdings for Consumer Reports. And it says right here, it's a holdings 2. You can see that right there. And it just says local holdings available. That does not tell anybody anything. All right, that is not useful. So let's expand the leader and let's change our encoding level to level 3. And let's apply. That is correct. We want to look at it. We see that it's text and it's regular print. Okay. All right. So receipt of acquisition. Well, we know we still get it. So it is currently received. The method of acquisition is that we do purchase it. So we go through those again. We don't keep it permanently. We keep it for a limited period. So our policy is the latest one. And we keep this one for the latest year. And the completeness is other. And we're mean. We're not going to lend it to you, but we will make a copy. And we're going to apply. Okay. I am going to let you know that we do keep it by the title. And I need to let you know where I keep it. So let's add below. And let's choose our shelving form. And let's just call it consumer. And I know that's the only magazine that I have that has that title. So let's apply. All right, so yeah, I don't have a 853. Oh, crud, what do I do? Well, I come over here to the functions and I click add a single field below. Oh, but it added a 852. Well, easy. You just change it. And you go 853. And then you expand. And we know that it is unknown and that they are unverified. The first level of enumeration was, again, volume. The second level of enumeration we're not going to do. Oops, and I didn't need to put that period in there. Remember consistency. So let's delete the second level. But we need to add the chronology. So then we're going to add the first level of chronology, which will be the year in parentheses. And let's apply. And I'm missing something. Something isn't right. So what am I missing? Oh, I guess I needed a subfield A. Why did that not go in there? Oh, I guess it is there. Duh. I'm thinking something else. My brain went blank. Okay, but I need a 863. It's 3. And expand it. There we go. All right. Level 3. The linking field will be 1. That's what I forgot. 1.1. I knew I forgot something. So we need to go back up in just a second and fix that because I knew that didn't look right. I knew I was forgetting something up there on that 853. Forgetting that subfield linking field 8. So with my consumer reports, it's volume 84. So I need to put in 84. And then I need to put in 2019. Oh, but they're continuing. So put that there. Hit apply. All right, so this one we need to expand. Here, action, add below. I need to choose a subfield 8, a linking field, and that is just 1. Apply. Okay, and then let's delete that field. There we go. All right, let's see if we did it right. So let's validate. And I did it right. So yay me. And then since we edited that record, we don't want to create another one because we don't need 2 local holdings for that same record. Oh, but we're not quite done. We need to change our summary statement. So retains current issue plus 1 year. Okay. So we're going to replace the record since we edited that record. And it says, are you sure you want to replace it? And you say, yes, I do. And it says record replaced. Okay. All righty. So now then, let's go and do a search. All right, and let's do a derive a record. Let's see what we can find. Let's do Journal of Accountancy. Let's see if we can find a record. No, let's do Journal of Professional Nursing. Somebody good, big has got to have Journal of Professional Nursing. So let's do an OCLC search for Journal of Professional Nursing. Okay, let's double check to make sure this is a good record. Okay, Journal of Professional Nursing comes out bi-monthly. Yes. And that's the online version. Yes. Okay, so this looks like this is the right record. Okay, all right. So to derive a record, we want to come over here and we want to display local holdings. And then we want to click on this that says display local holdings. All right, and it's going to default to your state. Now here in the state of Georgia, UGA is the biggest cataloger unit in the state. And their catalog is the biggest. So they kind of like our cataloging big guru for the colleges and universities. So their symbol is, you hover over the symbol and it will tell you the University of Georgia. But they look like they stopped taking that magazine in 2004. So that one might not be the greatest one to get because we kind of still get it all the time. Looks like a lot of folks are still going digital with it. theirs are still open-ended. Who is this? This is Mercer. Mercer's a good medical school. Let's go with that one. Okay. So you can click on one that looks very similar to yours. Okay. And this is what their local holding record is. Theirs is a level 3. You can look at it right there. And you see they don't have the 853 and the 863 pair. They have the summary, the leader, the 007, the 008, and then they have, instead of the 853 and the 863 pair, they have the 866 text string statement in their record, which is perfectly fine to do. Okay. So this is a good one to kind of derive from, because this is the little cheater method that I was telling you about. So to kind of derive and copy from theirs, we are going to click on the edit menu instead of the action or the view menu, and we are going to derive a new record. And we're going to change this to text. And ours is regular print. Okay. All right, let's change our summary statement back. Retains current plus 1 year. Okay. And our 008, we currently receive. We purchase it. We keep it for a limited period. We keep the latest 1 year. We're mean and we do not lend, but we are nice and we will reproduce a copy. So we are going to apply. Okay. The 014, we are going to delete. Okay. All right. And then we were going to add, oh, got to add it. We're going to add an 866. 866. And we're going to expand. And it is 3. Okay. And then in here, it is ANSI. The linking field. Here, the linking field is 0. And then in here, you're going to copy your summary statement and put it right here and apply. And then you're going to validate your record. It says we are golden and we are going to add a record. Are you sure you want to add a record? And our record is added. So when we search the catalog, we will see Journal of Professional Nursing, and there is our local holdings record. And so that is the cheater way. All right, that is the end of my walkthrough.